Sir Francis Bacon, often celebrated as one of the greatest philosophers, scientists and statesmen of the Elizabethan and Jacobean eras, also holds the dubious distinction of being one of the most infamous figures in English legal history. Known as the father of empiricism, Bacon's trial in 1621 for bribery and corruption as Lord Chancellor marked a dramatic fall from grace. Born on January 22, 1561, Sir Francis Bacon was the youngest son of Sir Nicholas Bacon, a prominent Elizabethan politician. From an early age, Francis demonstrated exceptional intellect and ambition. Educated at Trinity College, Cambridge, and later at Gray's Inn, he immersed himself in philosophy, science, and law. Despite his brilliance, Bacon's early career was marked by financial struggles and a dependency on patrons, particularly his powerful uncle Lord Burghley and later Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex. Under King James I, Bacon's fortunes improved dramatically. His political acumen and loyalty to the crown earned him a series of appointments, culminating in his role as Lord Chancellor in 1618. This position made him the highest judicial officer in England, entrusted with upholding the rule of law and dispensing justice impartially. However, Bacon's tenure as Lord Chancellor coincided with a period of systemic corruption within the English court, a factor that would ultimately contribute to his downfall. The charges against Sir Francis Bacon were a product of both personal misconduct and the political intrigue of the time. By 1621, Parliament, emboldened under James I's rule, was growing increasingly critical of the Crown's governance, particularly its financial practices. Bacon, as Lord Chancellor, became a convenient scapegoat for Parliament's grievances against the monarchy's perceived abuses of power. The central accusation against Bacon was bribery. It was alleged that he accepted gifts from litigants whose cases were under his jurisdiction. In total, there were 23 specific charges of corruption. For instance, Bacon was accused of receiving £300 from Sir Thomas Monk in relation to a legal case and £100 from Lady Wharton. While it was common for judges to accept gifts in that era, Bacon's actions violated contemporary legal standards and his duty to impartiality. Bacon admitted to accepting the gifts but denied that these acts influenced his judgments. He famously declared, "I was the justest judge that was in England these 50 years, but it was the justest censure in Parliament that was these 200 years." This statement reflects the paradox of Bacon's trial. While he may have been guilty of accepting gifts, he maintained that his decisions were fair and just. The trial of Sir Francis Bacon cannot be fully understood without considering the broader political dynamics of the time. King James I's relationship with Parliament was fraught with tension over issues such as royal prerogative, taxation and corruption. Parliament, eager to assert its authority, saw Bacon's case as an opportunity to challenge the Crown and promote accountability among its officials. Moreover, Bacon had made enemies among powerful factions within the court. His rapid rise to power and reputation for being an ambitious schemer earned him the ire of rivals. The Duke of Buckingham, a favourite of King James, is often suspected of orchestrating Bacon's downfall to protect himself from scrutiny, as Buckingham's own influence was linked to numerous allegations of corruption. In this climate, Bacon's trial became a symbolic battle over corruption and governance. Parliament framed the charges as a defence of public morality and the rule of law, but the trial also served as a means of undermining the king's authority. Bacon's trial began in earnest in April 1621. Despite initial efforts to defend himself, Bacon ultimately decided not to contest the charges. He submitted a confession to the House of Lords and stating, "I do plainly and ingenuously confess that I am guilty of corruption and do renounce all defence." His strategy of full capitulation has been interpreted in various ways. Some historians view it as an act of humility, while others see it as a pragmatic decision to avoid harsher consequences. On May 3, 1621, Bacon was found guilty and sentenced to a series of penalties: a fine of £40,000, imprisonment in the Tower of London, dismissal from all public offices, and a ban from holding public office again. However, King James I intervened, reducing the severity of the punishment. Bacon's imprisonment lasted only a few days, and the fine was never collected. The trial marked the end of Bacon's political career, but it did not extinguish his intellectual pursuits. In the years following his conviction, Bacon dedicated himself to writing and scientific inquiry. His seminal works, including Novum Organum and The Advancement of Learning, were published during this period, cementing his legacy as a pioneer of the scientific method and modern empirical thought. Bacon's reflections on his trial suggest a sense of personal responsibility, but also a recognition of the systemic flaws in the judicial system of his time. He wrote, "It was the fault of the times, and not of the man." This statement underscores the extent to which corruption was normalized in the political and judicial culture of early 17th century England. Sir Francis Bacon's trial raises enduring questions about power, accountability, and the human capacity for both greatness and moral failure. As a philosopher and scientist, Bacon's contributions to human knowledge are unparalleled. His advocacy for empirical research laid the foundation for modern science, influencing generations of thinkers from Isaac Newton to Charles Darwin. Yet as a politician, Bacon's legacy is more controversial. His trial serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of compromising ethical principles for personal or political gain. It also highlights the complexities of leadership in a system rife with corruption, where even the most capable individuals can become entangled in moral ambiguities. Bacon's dual legacy is perhaps best summarized by the historian Macaulay, who described him as a man who is at once the glory and the shame of our species. This paradox captures the essence of Bacon's life, a brilliant mind undone by the failings of human nature. The trial of Sir Francis Bacon remains a pivotal moment in English history, reflecting the interplay between individual actions and broader political forces. It illustrates how even the most accomplished individuals are not immune to the temptations and pressures of power. At the same time, it underscores the importance of accountability and the rule of law in maintaining a just society. Despite his fall from grace, Bacon's intellectual legacy endures. His contributions to philosophy, science, and literature have outshone the stain of his political failures. In this sense, Bacon's life is a testament to the resilience of human achievement even in the face of moral imperfection. The story of his trial invites us to grapple with the complexities of history, where the lines between heroism and hubris, genius and folly, are rarely clear-cut.